Alright, what you're looking at here is the new AirTV dongle. This is a dongle designed with Android TV and Sling TV integrated together. It's from Sling TV, and we're going to show you a little about what you get in the box. First off, there is the remote. It's a basic remote that has all the buttons you need to get started, including a Netflix button and a Google button. You've got the AirTV dongle itself. You see it's pretty small. It's not as small as a Fire Stick, but boy, I mean, it's not going to take up a lot of room behind the TV. It has a nondescript power source that you plug into the included USB power cord, and it comes with batteries for the remote as well. So that's really all there is to it. We're going to go ahead and post this video and work on a demonstration of it and let you see what it looks like overall. Alright, so now the AirTV is loading. We've got it plugged into the TV. Of course, you plug the HDMI port into the HDMI cord into the HDMI port. And good news is you can power this with the USB cord. So you can plug the USB cord into a television and it will provide the power necessary to turn this on. So you do not need to plug it into an outlet. So the Android screen is loading and we're going to be going on to the next step, which is setting up your remote. You see that it gives you on-screen directions right here to show you how to do it. And that's you're going to press OK to pair the remote. It doesn't move on instantly. It doesn't just say, ta-da, you're set. So you just want to hold down the button, and what you'll see is that the light at the top of the controller is going to beep, and we're just going to do that and move on. So here's where our language selection is, and this is pretty obvious. You're going to choose the language that you speak. And Android is pretty well known because it's so many places in the world. So therefore, you have a lot of language options available. Of course, we're just going to go with English and move on. This is a choice that you've got. If you've got a phone, an Android phone, you can use that. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to set this up, I guess, the long way. And we're going to set this up using our information. Alright, so now that we have our info in there and did not mistakenly share it with the world, we are connected to the internet. And what we're doing, of course, is moving on to the next stage of this setup. Part of doing this is just being patient, so let it do its job, don't freak out. And you see that right now it is updating the operating system. This is going to make sure that it's got the best software all ready to go. It doesn't take too long. We're just showing it in real time so that you get a real feel for it. This way, when you're setting yours up on your own, you don't wonder, why is it taking so long, or should it be taking this long? Software updates are very helpful though. It's good to have everything straight and up to date. Even once you have this set up, you're going to want to regularly check and make sure that there isn't an update so that your apps will all work the best that they can, and other software features, things from Google and things like that will be ready to go. So it is verifying and we'll be ready to move on in just a moment. There we go. So it's going to automatically reboot for you. So you don't have to do anything. It's going to turn off and turn back on. And now this is the final shutdown, and boom. So it's reset for us, and we're looking at the little fancy Android boot screen again. It was a big surprise when Android finally got into this market the way that they did. After so many years of Android TV devices or Google TV devices that just didn't go anywhere, I think they're really getting it right this time. And AirTV is a great example. It's very exciting to see an Android dongle. So now you're about to see what it really looks like. What we're going to do here is connect up to our network and jump in to the core of everything, starting to get into the main sign-in. So here we are. 1 second, there we go. Okay, so first of all, you want to go ahead and sign in with your Google account. It's important because this is going to allow it to connect with your YouTube, as well as things like if you have Google Movie purchases or anything like that. And it gives you a choice to use your phone or the remote. We're going to do the remote because, after all, this is a demonstration that you want to actually see the steps in. Now, you got to sign in here, and we're not going to show you the entire sign-in process, so we're just going to move forward and pretend like we signed in front of you. This is where you would sign in, and accept. You want to share your location. Why? Because it's going to set you up with the right time, date, things like that. It's not a big deal. If you're private, say no, but you'll kind of wish you had as you move forward. And since these guys were good enough to send this along to me, I'm just going to help improve it and say yes. Now we get into a little more technical things. It still pretty much walks you through it, but you have a way to see that your privacy information looks like and how that works. That's good to put that out there from the start. And we'll continue and move on to the personal results. And as you see, it explains what getting the personal results is. I kind of like that. Just like a lot of devices, you can name this however you want to, and we're going to call this one Office, because I have so many different little things around when I reach out to things and want to cast. I definitely want to know what I've got and where. You see that it already recognizes that I've got some of these apps. These are things that I had downloaded through Android, through the Google Play Store. So it gives you a chance to go ahead and start off with some things in place for you right from the beginning. I'm going to continue and move on. Now this is just a little information about the device itself. It comes from Google so that you understand what you're getting into, if you didn't already know before you plunked down the money for it. It's cool that you can use the Google Assistant. That's helpful, especially if you have Google items. And right there, it explains that it can cast to your TV, which is cool because essentially this dongle here is the same price as the more expensive HD dongle for Google Chrome, the Google Chromecast. And we're going to already have a 4K Google Chromecast hooked up to the TV, except this one has the Android operating system on it. So that's helpful. You see that we went ahead and kept our standard settings, but it is good to know that there is a number of settings for people who have any sort of a disability, whether it's the need to hear things read out or see it larger. So it's scanning for the devices, and it recognized that we have an AirTV remote, and it allows you, like a number of products these days, to set it up so that you can control your television with the remote. And it's a really simple process, you see. Either you grab your TV brand from a pre-selected list, or you start typing it in. This is a Hisense TV we have here. So we're going to start typing Hisense, and it already recognizes it. So after you're all done, you can just hit the check mark and move forward. So the test is pretty simple. It just sets it up and you move forward. It worked. And so we said yes. Here we just are going to move forward. It's already set up on the TV, so we're just going to say next. It says scanning for devices again. Of course, I don't really need to tell you what it says on the screen. I assume you can see it. And we're going to move on. All right. So now it asks you if you want to set up audio through like a receiver. We don't have one, so we're going to skip that. And we're ready to move to the next step, which is jumping into Sling TV. From here, you can either sign up or sign in to Sling TV. And, we've got it already, so we're going to sign in off screen and move forward. And if you're familiar with Sling TV, you'll see that this is the same interface as you have with the app in general. It starts off without anything in place. That's because it just hasn't fully loaded. And you'll see it starts loading on in as we go along. So just in case you see this, it doesn't mean that your Sling TV is broken or something like that. Just like I said, give it a second and you'll see that it's a full interface. Here we can see the channel guide, what people think of as the traditional channel guide. And you'll notice that there are over-the-air channels mixed in with cable channels. This is the big deal for Sling TV, is integrating the over-the-air channels in. In order to get the over-the-air channels with this mini dongle, you will need the actual AirTV tuner. That's a separate item, but once you have that set up with your antenna, it will recognize it on all the devices that you have Sling TV signed in with. So you see that we've got over-the-air television. We're not going to launch it right this second because I don't want to somehow get flagged for a video, but I can tell you, you can watch over-the-air TV if you have the AirTV tuner. So let's take another look through the interface overall. If you're not familiar with this, I find it to be a pretty simple interface. You'll notice it has categories on the top to help you kind of figure out what you're looking at. And in this case, the AirTV also integrates a nice ribbon of Netflix content. From here, you can actually sign into Netflix. We're not going to go through the trouble of that at the moment. I mean, I think we probably know what Netflix looks like at this point. But we're going to just show you that, here's where you can do it, just like you can if you're going to the app outside of Sling TV. Next, we're going to show you something about these settings so that you can sort of feel, and understand that you can get to all of your important device settings from the Sling TV menu. They're right there at the bottom, and you can go in and take a look at pretty much everything you need to set up on the device. These device settings are going to control things along the lines of the Android TV interface, not the Sling TV interface. And you're going to, we can take a look at the storage. It's got a decent amount of storage. You can't put 100 things on here, but you can keep up with it, see what you've got available. And of course, date and time. Like I said, if you go ahead and share your location, it's going to set you up correctly from the start. And you see, in our case, it did. The important parts, the important things that you might need to know is how to reset your device, and that's going to be in this menu. So there is the basic settings. Your Sling TV settings are available in what's called Sling TV settings, and the cool thing is, if you're a parent that wants to use parental controls, you in fact can. They also have the settings for closed captioning and things like that available. So in general, all of the settings you need to use are going to be easy to find. They're not buried under submenu and a submenu and a submenu. Now when you click on apps, you'll see that it launches in to Android TV. This is Android TV 9.0, and you see that it has the full system that you might be familiar with on other projects, whether they're things like the NVIDIA Shield, or whether it's the a Sony TV with this built in, or Hisense has models. But this is the Android TV operating system, and it sort of runs alongside what you see with the AirTV Sling TV interface. You can access your apps from here, as well as add apps to the Google Play Store. And if you want to customize it a bit, you can go onto the end where the plus mark is, and you can add other things that you want to see. So we're going to put the Google Play Store in place, and we're going to put Plex up there. I like Plex. This way we can easily get to the Play Store and explore it. If you're unfamiliar with this Play Store, this is the Play Store for TV, which makes it a bit different than the Play Store on a phone. The big difference is that all of these apps are really meant for television viewing, as opposed to spreadsheets and things like that, and games that where you need to type things. But I'm going to jump in on Plex and get signed in. If you've never seen Plex, this is a pretty cool app. It's a media center that allows you to get into all of your media, like anything you've got saved on your hard drive. It scans it, it sees the different servers, and we have some local and some that we've got via sharing with somebody, another cool feature. But without setting up anything on Plex, you can access a really cool news feature that pulls in information from multiple sources. You see all of the different headings. And this allows you to get a hold of things, keep up with what's going on. The podcast player is one of the better players available in general. It's very direct. It has, a number of things that they just kind of set up for you. It has some pre-done categories in place for you so that you can entertain yourself without thinking about it too much. But on top of that, it also has a nice category search that allows you to see more of what is offered without having to dig into it too much. So if you're into sports, click on sports, and there you go. You see a number of different categories for sports, or different podcasts within the category. It's a nice, simple interface to use. And finally, there is the web shows. Web shows are like video podcasts. It's another one that they've got a lot of. Looks like sex sells, huh? So we're going through, and there is a lot to see. There's old Lon Simon. I like him. So web shows are another option that you've got. This is what you have just signing in to Plex for free without signing up for anything extra or setting up anything extra. So that's a little about Plex. You'll notice if you tap the little Google button on your remote control, this pulls up the Google Assistant, which means that you can talk to it. You can control Google connected items. That's another really cool thing. And, that's essentially what you get with AirTV. I think that this is a really nice item that a lot of people are going to like, because, like I said, it's the first time you're really seeing an AirTV or an Android TV in this form factor. Until now, it was all boxes, and it's really great that there's an option out there now that will give you both a Chromecast level slinging streamer, slinging it over to from your phone or tablet to the TV, as well as a full interface. This is almost what I think the Chromecast should have been from the start. But that's that, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe and share this with your friends. As always, I'm Ryan Downey, the streaming advisor.